Rolling? Yeah. On
Rolling.
episode 1. Here we are.
There we go. Right, well, I suppose we're going to have to say who we are then.
Yeah.
And why people should listen to us. Or they shouldn't, you know what? Go about your day. There's more important things in the world than a film podcast. Well, things got dark. You know, the world's ending. Anyway, my name's Callum.
Yeah, and hello, I'm Chris. Callum's kind of hosting this, so I'm just going to be like taking direction from him. I'm his like lifelong guest for this, aren't I? You do all the work, and I just turn up and chat.
Yeah, he just kind of is going to be here, unfortunately, every week, like he always is, kind of in my life, just like a parasite, really, like fungus on your feet that you can't get rid of. Anyway, so basically, what we're doing here is we've been kind of friends since college. Since
college. So we've
16?
been just over 6 years. I've known Callum.
And so we've been friends since college, and kind of we bonded over films, really, didn't we? We were both in both drama and film studies together. Yeah. And shout out Tom Westwood, and Legend of the Game, and just in case he is listening, how is that fateful name pronounced, Chris?
Cesare.
Is it Cesare? Or is
Cesare.
It Cesar?
There's lots of stuff like this we'll explain to you at some point.
Yeah, we'll explain to you. But anyway, so we kind of bonded over films and kind of drama and kind of the creative arts in general. We kind of just wanted to share that and mainly monetize our relationship, I think is basically what this is about.
If anyone listens, or we're just doing this with
What do you mean if
microphones.
anyone listens? Of course they're going to listen. This is Callum Adkins and Christopher... Oh yeah, St. Clark, sorry.
Yeah. Do we chat about what we do now? Shall I explain?
Yeah, all right then.
So I plug all my stuff on
Yeah,
your
what
show.
are you doing then with your life?
So
Not much, that's
I just
good.
want to
Anyway,
explain
so
why
I'm first.
I just want to explain why we of all people are talking about films, because we're not in the film industry.
No,
massively.
we have no right to do this at all.
You shouldn't listen to... I'm joking.
Please do.
I'm a writer and director. I run a company called Raising Cane Productions, and we're based in the theatre world. So I write dark, gripping, twisty-turny dramas, but all of my writing comes heavily influenced from the film industry. So I take most of my inspiration from film rather than theatre, and I kind of adapt it for the stage. It is my goal to move into film at some point, but I'm very much enjoying working in the theatre world. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, and in terms of podcasting, I also run a little podcast called The Book at the End of the Shelf, which is like it's dark rhyming tales for grown-ups. So yeah, that's my kind of background, writing.
Cracking, yeah. So what I do, I went to university in the University of Chichester, and I did acting for film there. So that's kind of, obviously, as we said before, we both did kind of film studies at Paston, so we both got like a deep love for film, and that was only kind of made more so when I studied film studies. Obviously, it was mainly to do with kind of screen acting, but also kind of studied film theory and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really into it, really love going to kind of the cinema and watching stuff. But this podcast isn't it's not about heavy film theory.
Yeah.
We're not kind of heavily breaking things down.
Because we're not really in that world. We're approaching it from two different kind of perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. And also I think the fact that we are creatives, it means that you've got to have a certain respect for other people that do go out and create stuff. I mean, we know how hard it is to actually get stuff made. Yeah. So it's then difficult.
And to have it reviewed as well. From others, exactly. So it's really interesting. So we're very...
So we're not coming at it from like a heavy reviewers kind of headspace, really. But obviously we've got our own opinions and thoughts on things. Yeah. It's kind of a nice light and take away from what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And so anyway, let's start off. Let's just have a chat, mate.
Do we do an intro? Do we do that now?
I reckon we do that later, bro.
Alrighty. Okay, cool. Cool. Just so you know, I'm sat here with a guitar in my hands right now. I write music as well.
Write music.
Yeah. So that's Callum's like piercing jealousy will come through.
He's a narcissist, just so you know. He thinks he can do everything. Oh, I can play guitar. Oh, I can do tech for a show. Oh, I'm going to write now as well. Stay in your lane.
Oh, I can turn up on time.
Well, Callum. I can't do that. So.
Anyway, I'm sat here live with a guitar now, and I will always perform the intro for you live, you lucky people.
Go on, then. Give it to him now, then. You know you want to.
I guess. Okay.
Go on.
Okay. I've got to get like the right... Can never find the key. Chris and Callum's film club. They're sat upon some chairs. They're chatting stuff about films, but who the hell cares?
Classically trained.
Brilliant. That
Both...
saves us going to recording studio and doing it properly. So
we'll do that one day. Pinewood. Yeah, no, we're actually performers. You what?
So that's not a recording.
No,
studio.
I know. I meant the other one.
studio.
I know. What's the one?
Pineapple.
No, not
That's a dance studio.
not Pineapple. The one where they do, the Beatles and that.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
So close to Pine.
This has started really well. How are you?
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to? I'm doing it now. In the question, am I allowed to interrupt you all the fucking time?
Oh, he swore.
Oh,
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, can I swear? Because I just did.
Do you know what?
Will we bleep it? I didn't even think. We said we undecided going into this whether to swear or not. We don't really swear much anyway.
No, not
but
really.
you bring it out of me. I just get so angry.
How do I bring it out of you?
Just fury.
I'm a very passive man. I don't think I would bring any fury out of you. Yeah, bro. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Don't care. So anyway, what I've been doing this week? No. What you've been doing?
Tell us what you've been doing this week.
No, it's been great. Norwich City. I've got a new manager and have won twice. Scored 4 goals in 2 games. Cool. Chris is looking at me just for audio listeners out there. He has no clue what I'm talking about. What do you think football is? Chris?
I thought it was rugby. Rugby. Is that the one? The football.
Yeah.
The one with all the grass and the people that go like.
No, I think that's someone dying.
The one where like they graze their knee and they cry and then get sent
That's
off.
the one.
Yeah. Oh, that one.
Yeah. I could be a footballer with my acting skills. Absolutely. It's what you go to drama school for.
Yeah.
Very talented.
I've never seen you run though.
Right. All right. That's not very fair. I've got asthma and I'm dyspraxic.
Yeah, great.
Disclaimer.
That'll get you on the football team.
Just lay out.
Sorry, I just crushed your dream immediately.
He's a horrible man. I hope people can see this now behind closed doors. Everyone thinks he's really nice and very successful, but he's a horrible, horrible man. See, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so that's good.
So you're telling me what you've done in your week, and you're talking about Norwich City. So you're not on the team.
No, not on the team.
Okay.
I never have been on the football team because I'm dyspraxic.
How's this part of what you've done this week?
Right, if you let me get there, I'll tell you. Because there's actually quite a nice thing that I was going to say later on, but maybe we won't get to it. So, Norwich City, yeah, we've got a new manager. We've won. This is the second game I went to go and watch it. And my grandparents and my uncle there. Which was very good. That was very nice. In the words of our old manager, Daniel Farker, the sun is shining, the doves are crying, and I'm feeling really great. No one's going to.
I don't get it.
No, he's German, and that was one of his sayings. I miss him. But anyway, yeah, so that's good. I like football as well as film. I'm multifaceted.
Can I just like interject with like? I'm just thinking, like listener wise.
Mm-hmm.
That just to clarify, we are from Norwich. Like,
we are, yeah, Norwich area,
which is why Callum likes Norwich City Football Club.
There'd be no other reason.
Go Canaries!
Go you
green and
canary!
Yellow. They're like my understanding of them, and this might offend you and a lot of people. I'm going to say it anyway.
Probably.
They're either like the best of the worst, or they're the worst of the best.
Yes.
And they just like constantly like between those two leagues. I don't get how the leagues work, but either they're the best of the worst one week, or they're the worst of the best.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not good at we're too good for the Championship, although not at the moment, and not good enough for the Premier League. We're in a film podcast.
Yeah, can we move on because this is infuriating me already? I'm
I can feel your skin crawling. But yeah, so it's been alright. I've been listening to something recently. Listened to a podcast. It's all right. It's not brilliant, but it's growing on me. It's called what's it called? Oh yeah, The Book at the End of the Shelf.
You have not listened.
I've actually been listening to it.
Have you?
I've genuinely been listening to it. So I saw Chris about a week or so ago.
To chat about this.
And I think he expected that I would have been listening to it, and I said that I'd watched half of the first episode.
Watched the podcast.
All right, listened.
All right, yeah.
Jesus.
I got too close to my mic then. I could feel it. Because I can hear what's going on and Callum
can't.
can't.
Sorry for your ears. Yeah, no. So I listened to your podcast. No, genuinely, I'm up to. You haven't released the final one yet,
No,
have
it
you?
came out today.
Came out today.
Yeah,
Listen to that
they're
then.
all online and bingeable.
Yeah, so I haven't listened to the last one yet, but I've listened to all the other ones in the car actually.
Oh, cool.
Instead of, I mean, to be fair, mainly because my car radio's broken. So that's all I have to listen to on my phone.
But you just play it out loud on your phone.
Yeah.
The exact same thing has happened to me at the minute. My radio's not broken, but I've got an iPhone and they just don't have like aux, whatever it is, and so and my little adapter things always break. I get through them so quickly, and I'm not paying for another one right now. I just don't want to.
Did you hear that, by the way? He's got an iPhone because that theatre money's coming in thick and fast.
Theatre
money.
Theatre money.
Yeah, all that money you're making. He's got an Apple Mac as well. Ooh.
Oh, I so want to show you my spreadsheets one day.
He loves the spreadsheet.
You think I do better than I do.
Yeah, must do.
It'll be a mystery. We'll release it one day. Chris's tax returns.
You know what? That was better than your podcast.
That's a whole podcast in itself. Yeah. Join us on Chris's tax returns.
People love that. But no, do you know what? And not to be kind of nice, because I don't really like to be nice to you. But no, they are genuinely brilliant. And I'm not very good at rhyming or like writing or anything, let alone rhyming. But they're really good. And I'll be honest, I thought the rhyming was really going to put me off.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bit childish and it was going to really get to me and it was going to be irritating. But you get over it really quickly, and it's just a really nice story like you did when you were younger, but adultified, really. It's kind of similar to what they did when they did like Krakenori. I think it was on Dave.
Okay.
Like proper like adult bedtime stories. And yeah, they're really really brilliant. Really, I think they're fantastic. I think my favourite so far, the one I just listened to, Stalker.
Okay.
I really like that.
I'm getting a lot of people say Stalker, and I had the least amount of kind of like thought about that one. I just didn't. Yeah.
I just really like the concept. Like you were saying at the end of it, I just really like things which you think are one thing and then it's something else completely, and make you really kind of switch your head on it. And also, I think I really like the first one, My Reflection. Was it Reflection?
The Reflection.
The Reflection. Yeah. But I think the next one, I think for me, my favourite ones are Stalker and The Night That Ali Died.
Yeah.
Because I just really, again, I really love the perspectives and how, again, you think it's one thing and then it goes to someone else's story and then someone else's, and I really love those two.
Funnily enough, The Night That Ali Died, I thought was the best when I started writing it, and I took it to Daisy, my partner, who reads all my stuff, and she's like my editor, basically. She just gives me notes on everything, which is so helpful. And she hated that one compared to the others. Well, she didn't hate it, but like there was the most she said to work on it with it, and I did. I just went and worked on it, and I think it's probably the strongest.
Probably because you've had that constructive criticism on it, though.
Yeah. And I'm sure all the people in the film industry, all the directors and producers listening to this podcast, which they will be, of course, will take on all our criticism.
Absolutely.
And make better films.
Oh, absolutely. See, that's a really nice segue, but I'm not going to take it because there's still stuff I want to talk about.
I'm just aware we're talking about me, but I don't mind.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'm not going to talk about you anymore.
Oh, that's
ever again.
Shall I go?
Yeah, please. Anyway, I could do it on my own. I could do it all on my own. I don't need you. I wouldn't be here if not, but because I couldn't do this on my own. Let's be honest. Anyway,
all my likes.
I think so. It's January. We can be honest that we're recording this in January. Whenever, depending kind of when this goes out, but this is being recorded in January.
Yeah. So what is the date today? 23rd. 23rd of January, 2023.
Because it is my friend Rachel's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Rachel.
We've both just turned 23, haven't we?
Yes, well, this is one of the things I was going to talk about. It was your birthday the other day.
It was.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did you have a good birthday?
I did.
We are talking about you. Oh, this is awful. All right, yeah, how was your birthday?
It was good. My partner got me lots of merch for my company. Which is brilliant.
Not a plug.
Callum is in one of my productions, Last Shot, and we're going on tour in March. So I'm very excited for us all to have some merch to walk around with.
I'm in it for now. I feel like I will probably be kicked out at some point.
Yeah,
for something that I'm going to do.
It's in the pipeline. You've probably already done it.
Well, I missed the first show.
Yeah, Callum. We rehearsed for. This is a professional company, by the way. We rehearsed for. A week, But solid intensive
4 or
rehearsals.
5 days.
All right. Solid intensive rehearsal period for this new tour, and on the first day of shows, Callum said, "I can't do it. Can't do it. I couldn't possibly do this show that I've been rehearsing and everyone's waiting for." And this was like my most sold venue, and it was the best kind of deal for me in terms of like money. And so I was like, I can't cancel it, so I'm just going to have to do it.
Wait, but can we just? You say it like I just decided I wasn't going to do it.
There
was a reason.
You just decided.
There was a reason.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
No, I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm quite open with it. I've got IBS. So, if I have to suddenly run out or I go to commercial, you'll know why. So I it wasn't a good day. I was ruined. I'm not going to go too much into that just in case you're eating your tea.
Yeah, but now Callum has like this fear in the back of his head that I don't need him anymore.
Yeah, because you did it without me.
Because I did it without you.
You did all right, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's a bit worrying.
Got some quite good reactions actually. I could just not pay you. I could just do it.
You don't pay me anyway. He does pay me. Not enough, but
not on the days that he spends on the toilet. I had to draw a line there.
I should have been paid then, but
No.
I can't help it that I was pouring out my bumhole.
Yeah, but you didn't turn up.
Oh yeah, but you're supposed to get sick pay. This is a professional company.
Yeah, but
I
you're
should
not
have got
on PAYE.
sick pay.
You're self-employed, and you didn't turn up to do the job. That's like. This is sounding really confrontational, and I realised as I'm saying it, I'm like, no, but I genuinely meant that like factual, like self-employment. Sorry, like if a plumber doesn't turn up to do plumbing, which is terrible. That's not how actors should be treated. They should all have the perks and benefits of normal jobs. But me as a tiny little company,
I need to
can't
just
afford
sort
it.
myself out. Really, I need to sort the waterworks out, just all of it,
And timekeeping.
and no.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
a separate
late
conversation.
tonight, by the way.
That's a separate conversation. That's an off-podcast conversation I need to have with Callum.
Oh, I'm on the chop. Anyway, before we get any further into that...
Do you want to know how late? Because I said nothing to you when you came in, and you must have thought, I got away with it. But no, I was just saving it until we were rolling.
You're horrible.
I'm joking. I won't tell him.
No, thank you. Thank you very
40
much.
minutes. Sorry, I coughed.
Christ's sake. Oh, you're horrible. Anyway, it's January, and I feel like we're still in a time where we can talk about Christmas.
Okay.
Just about. I think it's fair enough because, let's be honest, by the time we get round to next December, we're both going to be, I don't know, Hollywood. So I feel like we won't be able to talk about Christmas. So I think
we're going to be like in Hollywood, like on holiday, just there.
I'm going to be a big name by then.
Callum Adkin. I'm already a big name. Not like I'm known well. I just got a really long name.
It's factually correct.
Christopher Saint and Clark. I don't know. Have we said it? Have we said our names?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Start.
I'll shut me up.
No, do you know what? My dad was saying you've got a very strong name. Very strong name for like in the industry.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's Christopher Saint and Clark. SAINTON-CLARK. But if you're a friend or anyone, actually, no one calls me Christopher. They all call me Chris.
Oh, I've got other names for you, but I can't say that on air. Anyway, so we're close enough to Christmas that I think we can talk about it because we won't be around next year because we'll all be kind of famous. And so anyway, let's have a quick little chat about Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. Christmas is always the busiest period for me.
Ooh,
I'm
in work. Ooh.
I work on a panto. I work doing pantos. That's what I do. During wintertime. So I do lighting and sound design. And that was my Christmas. I spent it pretty much every single day in December, except Christmas Day, working on a panto. And I guess if you're an actor in it, you can kind of like change things up a bit and you can enjoy yourself each time. But I swear to God, watching the same thing over and over again, no offence to all my lovely friends and cast members in the production, you're all fantastic and I always love seeing you, but yeah, after just the sound of the songs and the same sound effects over and over again, it's pretty wearing. But I really enjoy Christmas because I have little time to spend on it, so I think I appreciate it more, and I very much enjoy it. I'm not religious, but I like it, and I watched a couple of films, Probably
Well,
not
this is
enough
it.
to talk about it on a podcast.
Well,
but
but what is your favourite Christmas film?
my favourite
3,
Christmas film.
2, 1. Muppet
Die
Christmas
Hard.
Carol. Ah, wrong answer. It's the Muppet Christmas Carol. It just
It's
is.
Die Hard.
No, it's not a Christmas film, is it? I don't care what you say. It's not a Christmas
It
film.
is a Christmas
It's
film.
not a Christmas film.
But no,
It's not a Christmas film.
It's so good that it is a Christmas film, and you can also watch it any time of the year. That's why Die Hard is the best Christmas film, because it's
Do
like.
you know, I really didn't expect this from you.
What were you expecting me to say?
Well, I don't know.
Love Actually.
No,
I do
Muppet
actually
Christmas
really
Carol, because it's the only Christmas film that you can watch. It's genuinely so good. Like, it's just so good. Like, Michael Caine actually has a really good performance in it. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't just like phone it in. He's actually giving it his all while there are just puppets standing around him. I think he's brilliant in it. I think some of the scenes in that are haunting. Like the one at the end with
Like The Haunting,
the,
because there's a ghost. I mean, I saw it when I was really little. I haven't seen it for a long time.
oh, you got to
But
watch it
it's
again.
the story of A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas
So
Carol.
I know what happens. It just happens with puppets.
No, but it's got songs as well. It's a musical, and they're really good Christmas songs. Like, I would much rather listen to the Muppets Christmas Carol soundtrack than I would most other Christmas songs.
Okay.
Because they're not played on the radio and they're so good. And like, there's a bit where I think it's the Ghost of Christmas Future when he's at his gravestone and this huge like cloaked figure is talking to him about how no one's gonna like be at his funeral and no one will miss him and that. I just think and he gives such a good performance. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's really sweet. It's got great like songs. It's so good.
Okay.
The Christmas film.
I can talk a bit about Die Hard, but I do also have like a really beloved just Christmas film, which I don't think as many people have seen. But Gremlins. Have you seen Gremlins?
Again, same as you. Actually, I haven't seen that since I was really young. So
I just love it. It's just really fun.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, but it's.
Well,
I
mean,
think
to be fair, I was quite young.
On age,
but...
yeah. But it's all filmed. I don't know if you haven't seen it for years, but people watching, just a fun fact about it. If you watch, if you look at it, it's the same set, it's the same area as Back to the Future was filmed in that same kind of square.
It?
I can't remember if that was like a real square that they filmed at, or it was part of a studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same. It's the same place.
Oh,
but I just love it. I love the little mogwai. They're just so cute. I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it's silly. I think Christmas films, a lot of them probably aren't as good as regular films, but we're still so sentimental about them that we're like, we always watch them, we always enjoy them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of rose-tinted glasses about kind of around it, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. Do you know what? I think the greatest shame, like an absolute masterpiece like Muppet Christmas Carol, is you can only watch it once a year. I think it's weird.
Not Die Hard though.
Yeah, all right, okay. Again, I've only ever seen that like once. Like, it was fine, and I like that kind of stuff. I like action films. That's why I'm so surprised, because you don't strike me as someone that likes those kind of films.
But a lot of the action films I don't really get on. But I just think Die Hard is such like, it's so well written, and it's so like, it's a very good film. It really holds up. And in terms of its narrative arc, it's just so well done. It's just a really good film. It's very well put together.
Because of Alan Rickman?
It is a lot to do with Alan Rickman, but of course, it's just a good film.
Oh, right.
It's just good.
Okay. Not a Christmas film, but good.
It is a Christmas film. It happens. I've also got another good film that you argue isn't a Christmas film, but technically kind of is because it happens at Christmas. It's one of my favourite films of all time. In Bruges.
Oh, now that is good.
All set at Christmas.
Oh, yeah, is it?
All set at Christmas.
I don't remember.
Do you know where it's set?
In Bruges.
In Bruges. At Christmas.
Brilliant.
They were going to do it in Bruges at Christmas, but they didn't. That's a lie. You now never can trust any fact I tell you about.
I don't.
You're doubting the Gremlins fact I just said.
Yeah.
No, that one is true. Like Back to the Future and Gremlins.
In Bruges is very good.
It is very good.
I never used to be mad about Colin Farrell, but I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think he's so good.
It's very much my kind of humour.
I think Is it Brendan Gleeson?
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get confused between him and his son. He's really good in that.
And the writer and director Martin McDonagh. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Because he also did Seven Psychopaths.
Yeah, and he's
so
just he's done a new film actually that I haven't seen yet. I'm desperate to go see.
Oh, is that the one?
The Banshees of...
Yeah, Inisherin.
Inisherin? I don't know. I'm sorry,
those.
Everyone that's Irish or... Yeah,
I'm not.
butchering that. I am a bit
so
Irish,
many
actually.
of your Are you?
And actually, in the episode... Sorry, bringing it back all about me again. The latest episode of The Book at the End of the Shelf that's come out is all in an Irish accent. It's an Irish character.
Oh, my.
And I'm Irish enough to have citizenship.
So what you're saying is you're Irish enough for people not to get annoyed that you're not doing the accent, yeah.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. I've got the paperwork.
All right,
I don't actually yet. I'm not legally Irish yet, but I can wheel my very Irish granddad out.
See, it's fine. It's fine. Oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna take us to a break in just a second. But before I do, I want to say one thing. You know who our greatest critic is, Chris?
That guy that we bumped into at Guest Food Festival.
No, he's your greatest critic, okay. Not mine. I'm sure he loved what I was doing. You come on. Who's our greatest critic?
Ourselves?
No.
Oh, I thought that was a really poignant moment that we could reflect.
Nothing I say is poignant. My sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, our greatest critic. She's so honest about what we do.
What I do?
Mainly what... No, loves me. She also, by the way, as a little aside, she saw you, I think, in Tesco's a while ago. She said, he always wears the same stuff. He always looks the same. Like an NPC. Just
what was I wearing?
I don't know. The same thing as you always do.
I wear my own merch now.
Amazing.
But that's like
You're
a very
such
recent
a narcissist.
thing. So I got it for my birthday. It's not like pictures of my face. It's my company merch.
It should be pictures of your face. But anyway, she said, I told her that we were doing this. She's very kind of critical about everything we do, especially what Chris does. And she went, oh, that's nice. Well, at least Daisy will listen to it.
Oh my God, why is she out to get me? I don't even know her.
If more than just Daisy listens to this podcast, it will be a success, and I will tell her.
Wow.
She's going to have to listen to it.
I don't think Daisy's going to listen to this.
Oh.
We'll find out. I'm not going to mention that I've said this, and if she listens to the podcast, then she can come tell me.
Well, I'm hoping that my sister will also listen to it, so that'll be two, so...
What's worse, that they listen to it and are very critical of it, or they just don't bother?
Maybe they shouldn't. Well, the thing is, what they said was, she was like, oh, I really... Because she's obsessed with Stranger Things. She was like, oh, can I put a request in? And can you talk about Stranger Things at some point? I was like, well, you have to listen to it and put a request in then, won't you? Extra viewer, listener, not getting used to this whole podcast thing. Yeah, no. So I think, and maybe, depending how this goes, this is just a pilot, by the way, everyone. I think it would be nice to maybe in the future get some requests about what people want to hear about.
Yeah.
And some questions and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
But anyway, for now, we're going to go to a commercial break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi there, I'm Richard Richardson, and I have a loud voice, so you should listen to me when I say that Wipe Away is the best car cleaner known to man. The only domestic car cleaner that can clean your car like a pro. Now you can either listen to me or Ted, one of our satisfied customers. What do you have to say, Ted?
Yeah, it was good. It works well, easy to use. Don't need to get it cleaned anymore, so great.
Amazing! Now stop wasting your time and money and go out and buy yourself some Wipe Away. Because no matter who you listen to, it's great. Wipe Away, every wiper winner.
So what's just happened? That was you,
an
wasn't
advert.
It?
No.
No?
What?
Did we get someone in to do that?
Did we get... That was a real advert.
Oh, how much are they paying us?
Well, I'm not telling you because they're paying me.
Oh.
You said you wanted me to run this podcast, so I'm taking all the money.
Oh, right. It seems to be my place that we're doing it in with all my technical equipment.
Well, you have nothing to prove that because this is not videoed and the viewers don't know that, so you've got no proof. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
got enough to say there, have you?
Glad you got some revenue coming in.
Oh, I wish I did. Anyway, right, let's talk about... So basically how this is going to work is that every week, obviously, we just talk about kind of just general stuff like we did before the break. And then
that's probably a bit longer than normal because we're introducing who we are. And
exactly.
I like talking about myself, so
yeah, he is a narcissist. I'm thinking that maybe he should get a kind of an actual diagnosis.
What now?
Nothing to worry about.
I don't need that.
No. You're absolutely fine,
I don't.
darling.
I tell myself that every day. That was a joke. You actually made a tumbleweed sound there with your own voice.
Ooh.
That's good. And your beard.
I've got a beard, just so you know. I think everyone that knows me knows that I have a beard because I talk about it quite a lot.
And I did just say that you have a beard, so
Yeah.
the listeners that don't know you could probably work that out.
He's not very nice. He jabs at me all the time. It's horrible. I don't ever want to do this. I think it's a pilot for a reason. I'm going to get someone else in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you reckon Jack Fisher's about? No, he's too busy. I'd have to pay him.
Yeah.
I'm
He'd
not
want
paying
you to be there on time, I think.
Right, stop with this, okay?
Yeah.
It's horrible. So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, so we're gonna, the main kind of meat of every episode is gonna be kind of a topic that we're gonna talk about. So today, our first topic is superhero films.
Yep. And why they're bad.
Right. Here we go. Already, they are not bad. So this is okay. Right, I'm going to talk about the kind of the history in a minute. But the elephant in the room here is that Chris doesn't really like superhero films. So why are we talking about it? Who knows? No. So I really like. I've always loved superhero films. I've always brought up on kind of superhero films. And yeah, I absolutely love it. It's a large part of kind of the basis of kind of my relationship with my dad and kind of lots of my friends absolutely love superhero films. It's been a large part of my life. But we're going to kind of talk all about superhero films, maybe why you don't like them. A lot of other people don't like them and don't really kind of vibe with them, and maybe what's happened to them as of late. So let's do a bit of history, Christopher, because I did some research. I always do research. I'm well prepared, even though I was vastly late.
Yeah.
So superhero films. What are they? Films about superheroes, which aren't actually real. Spoilers, all special effects.
I think they might know what superhero films are, our listeners.
Well, I'm
Our
trying to
5
make it
listeners
as
might know.
inclusive as possible, okay?
Right.
Is that okay with you?
All right. Yeah. Explain to me what a superhero
You
film
have to
is.
put him in his place sometimes. Anyway, so obviously Marvel Comics, DC Comics, kind of been around for a long time, had large popularity, and there was the kind of 60s and that had lots of different TV shows about really kind of campy, the stuff like the Adam West Batman stuff. Anyway, fast forward to 1978, the first big kind of blockbuster superhero film was Superman with Christopher Reeve. And this was kind of the time when people were like, "Oh, superheroes sell." That made $300 million US dollars.
I like Superman. I like the 1978 Superman.
I've not seen it.
Oh my word!
I
Why are
know.
you doing a film podcast?
It's so true. Well, we're gonna talk about that segment later. Callum's confessions, not what it sounds like. Anyway, so this was 1978. Yeah, $300 million US dollars. And that was the second highest grossing film of that year. So they're like, "Ooh,
What was
this
the
makes some money."
first? If you know, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't do that
I
much research.
won't catch you out with questions.
No, please don't. And anyway, so that did really well. And obviously they made another. Oh, it's really bad. Either 2 or 3 of those of the Christopher Reeve ones.
They did. As far as I'm aware, they did 3 Christopher Reeve one, and then
Because then he
and
had
then
an
there was Superman
accident.
Returns. A few in the 90s. I can't remember.
Because there was
But it was pretty sure it's 3 with Christopher Reeve. But it's actually known to be quite an unlucky role to have because a lot of the actors who've played Superman have had accidents.
Really?
Or I can't remember exactly what Christopher Reeve's was. I think it's like a condition of some sort.
Yeah, because he's in a wheelchair, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he fell off of a horse.
Did he?
It was something like
I
I
don't
could
know.
be vastly wrong, but
I don't know.
It was something like that, which I think rendered him like paralysed from the waist down,
Okay.
maybe the head down, something like that.
That sounds about right.
But
Not right, as in correct. It's not good that happened.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about
that
right.
was just. I never liked him.
Justice.
So that was kind of the time where people went, "Oh, that makes money." Anyway, going back to Batman, kind of the next DC then kind of cashed in on this, but not till a while later, till 1989, where Tim Burton brought his first Batman film with Michael Keaton, obviously Jack Nicholson, which is very famous. I've also not seen it.
I haven't seen it.
That's really bad. I think that also that might be what we talk about in Callum's Confessions, maybe one that we both need to watch. Because I know it's a superhero film and you're not big, but I know that's supposed to be generally just a good film.
Yeah.
And I like Tim Burton. But yes, that performed really well and was one of the best films of the year. And I think this kind of started a trend of you getting big name actors, or at least one big name actor, to these films which people have associated with like campness, like the old Batman and stuff, and people aren't quite sure about comic book films. You bring in at least one big actor like Jack Nicholson, who didn't want to do it at the time. They were then gonna pass it on to Robin Williams,
Right.
to try and use some leverage to try and get Jack Nicholson to do it. Did it in the end, and obviously that worked really well for them.
Cool.
And he was obviously not seen it, but I hear he's kind of brilliant in the role, and he's influenced a lot of kind of Jokers ever since. Anyway, going on from that, you kind of, it's notable that you might notice that no Marvel films I've mentioned yet. They weren't really kind of big until 1998.
Which was I don't know.
Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
Yes,
Blade.
and I've seen it. They weren't really that marvelly. Like I know Blade's
No, not
not a
at all.
huge like superhero kind of character.
Mm.
They were just I remember seeing those.
Yeah, that was another one really badly. Haven't watched. This is really terrible of me, but I want to watch them, and they're rebooting them, as I do with everything, which we'll talk a bit about later. But with a really good actor there, Mahershala Ali, which I love.
Yeah, he's
especially in Moonlight.
Moonlight, yeah.
So good. I've banged on about that film so
He's
many times.
also actually, speaking of superhero films, I really enjoyed actually. Controversially, to my own opinions, the Luke Cage TV series.
So good, isn't it?
It's very good.
So good.
I very enjoyed it.
All of those
And
Netflix
he's
ones,
also-
other than Iron Fist, are good.
He was also in that, and he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was so good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. I almost wish that they could bring that character to the big screen, but I'm sure he's going to be absolutely fantastic.
I don't want them to bring it. That's my thing. I don't want them to bring it to the big screen because I enjoyed it as a TV show for what it was.
Yeah.
Which is my. I'll talk about it in a bit. It's my issue with superhero films.
But anyway, so that was 1998, and so obviously before this, Marvel had done stuff. Spider-Man had been around before, but only in kind of, it was more, I don't know, I think there was a film, but it wasn't very big budget. It was big for the time because they actually scaled a building, like they actually had a stuntman scale a building,
Right.
Spider-Man, and there'd been lots of Japanese Spider-Man stuff before as well, but nothing kind of big budget yet from Marvel. Blade then comes about, as I say, 1998. It kind of showed that Marvel could kind of do stuff, and this was at the time where Marvel Comics were really struggling as a company, and they were selling off properties kind of all over the place, like Spider-Man that was sold really cheaply, and then obviously Marvel was then sold, I think at the time that's when it was then sold to Disney, I can't remember. But anyway, they kind of showed with Blade that you could do like a proper adult superhero film, and it would work. Like that was super violent. That's why people don't associate it with being Marvel at all. Obviously, it wasn't MCU at this time. But it was kind of super violent, quite stylized, and quite dark. It's certainly the first one anyway. Kind of second and third one, particularly Trinity, fell off a bit.
It was not very good, Trinity.
No,
from what I
I
remember.
hear bad things, and that was one of Ryan Reynolds' kind of first big films.
Yeah, I think it was like 2004 or something.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, anyway, so that came about, and it's kind of a bit of an unsung hero really for Marvel, in that's kind of where it all started. Obviously not MCU, but a Marvel property getting kind of a big film like that. Then very soon after, X-Men happened in 2000, and the first of all the X-Men films, and there's been a lot now. And I think they're really good, especially the originals are really good films, and I think they give a great argument for Marvel films because they're not just kind of rubbish with lots of action and pretty colours and stuff. There's real kind of substance to the X-Men films, all about there's a lot of social issues that they talk about in there, and they always did in the comics about kind of segregation and stuff like that, and it hints to some ways to kind of racial issues,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I think the X-Men, again, getting in big names, Patrick Stewart, Ian
Yeah.
McKellen.
I think this thing is I don't dislike superhero films. I remember that's not my problem with them. I really enjoyed those early films, and I remember really loving X-Men. Yeah, they're very solid, good films.
I think they're fantastic, and I think they unfortunately tailed off to the third one, of that original trilogy. I think they then got way better with bringing in the new actors for First Class and then Days of Future Past. I think they're brilliant films. Anyway, the next big film that comes along in this history of superhero films is Spider-Man.
Yes.
2002, Tobey Maguire, with oh my god, director's name?
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi, yeah. And this was massive because the X-Men were hounded a little bit for not being massively comically accurate.
Okay.
Then you bring out Spider-Man. He's got the red suit on. It's amazing. He looks maybe slightly older and acts slightly older than maybe he does in the comics. But yeah, people were kind of overjoyed with kind of how that turned out. That kind of really was a brilliant springboard for superhero films going on from that. Again, unfortunately, once again, in the trilogy, tailed off in the third one, and that was kind of massive issues there.
And that was kind of at the time where MCU was kind of starting.
Yes, so it hadn't started yet, but they were kind of talking about it. Then we come to next big in superhero history in general, Batman. So Christian Bale.
Yes. Which again, I love all those films.
Yeah, again, another kind of dark, gritty one. Once again, people could say tailed off in the third one. I like the third one. I still think The Dark Knight is the best one. But again, going kind of almost become DC's calling card, and the only thing they really have over Marvel is that they're allowed to do those darker stories, and go kind of really in-depth character work and do stuff that maybe Marvel doesn't do as much.
Yeah.
They did in Blade, but certainly not since the MCU has kind of come about.
No.
But yeah, again, three really good films.
Not since Mickey is got his old
Mickey Mouse
got his hands on the lot.
No darkness. And then obviously the big one, the big milestone, especially for MCU, Iron Man. The original Iron Man comes out. Robert Downey Jr. Jon Favreau. 2008, and wow, what a time to be alive. I remember going to see it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
You did?
And enjoyed it.
Yeah, I went to get, so we both would have been about 8.
Yeah, it's 2000. Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
Would have been 8. Does that make anyone older than 23 feel really old? So we're like, that's how we tell our age. We just match it with the because we were born in 2000.
I was 99.
Of course, December, baby.
Just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I so vividly remember going to see that at the cinema. And do you know what, Chris? You won't believe this. We were late.
Were you?
I missed like the first few minutes, which sums my life up so well.
Have you ever seen a full film, or is it
not
always,
many?
Is it always like halfway through?
I really can't go and see a film where something big happens at the start because I get so confused.
Wow, you're a marvel to me.
Thank you. I went to go and see
Not
Tenet, and I think I was slightly late watching that. And if
I have
you're
not seen
just
that,
behind,
but I can imagine that was mind-boggling to miss any of that.
Though I loved watching that film second time round in the cinema when no one else had seen it because you're so smug. I know what's going on and you don't. Anyway, massive sidetrack. Yeah, so Iron Man 2008 starts the MCU. Obviously, after that we've got you have Thor, Captain America. Hulk comes before that, but I haven't spoke about that because it's not really massively important. It's kind of MCU adjacent, and they obviously changed casting to then Mark Ruffalo. Anyway, so all these films would then culminate 2012 Avengers, which no one ever thought would happen. And I think so many people were so happy to see it. And a great day to be a superhero fan in general. But retrospectively, maybe
was its downfall, I believe.
Well, not the MCU's downfall, but maybe just in general, maybe cinema's downfall. You could look at it in a certain sense, because then after that, you look about for the next kind of 10 years, 10, 11 years up till now, since 2012 Avengers, their dominance, really, and the MCU's dominance and superhero films' dominance in general, which is kind of what we want to talk about. So anyway, my standpoint on it, as I've kind of already said, I love superhero films. I've always loved the MCU. As I said, such fond memories of going to see all these films, and I can remember them so vividly. But yeah, there are certainly some problems at the moment. What are your thoughts then in general?
It's not that I don't like superhero films. I don't like what they've become. Like I just, to me, like those earlier films, Iron Man, or the Batman films, I really enjoyed them, and I enjoy cinema that's just its own thing. Like you go and see a film, and it tells you a story, and that's your experience, and that's what you enjoy. And for me, to be honest, with the Christopher Nolan Batman series, I didn't ever see he was ever trying to set up a huge franchise with it. He was just telling the story of Batman, which I enjoyed. And all those earlier superhero films all did that for me. They just told this adapted story of what was in a comic book. And they're really enjoyable. When it started going wrong for me is when it just all kind of morphs into this one big thing. I feel like you can't ever go and see a Marvel film without having to know what's happened extensively in like God knows how many other films, like 50. I don't know. I just I tried watching what I did with Marvel when I was younger, when I was enjoying it, and I did watch all the kind of Avengers and stuff. I think I got up to just before Thor Ragnarok, and I stopped watching it. I didn't see that one. And then more and more and more kept coming out, and everyone was like, "You got to see this, you got to see that," and I never went to go and see them because I kept saying, "Well, I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, and there might be some obscure reference to something." And I don't like how you just can't go see a Marvel film. I watched ones I watched recently were Captain Marvel. I watched that because I just looked at, if I'm going to watch these films, let's watch them in some kind of timeline order. Yeah. And I believe that one's set. It says, well, if you Google it, it says Captain Marvel. Watch that one first. I don't know, but I watched that, and I just
one of the first.
I find them all a little bit soulless.
Really?
I just don't. Each film, I can't get hooked on it. And I watched Captain America, the First Avenger, and my kind of like my brain, I do enjoy them. There is something that makes me enjoy them, but to me it's like, oh, when am I going to see that character next? And I like that character. I hope they come back in whatever. I hope this character interacts with that one. And then it's not, but that's not me enjoying the film that I'm seeing, is it? That's me just enjoying this huge franchise. And I know so much hard work goes into them, obviously, but to me, so much hard work goes into the kind of people that are working at Wetherspoons. But I still would rather go and sit and support an independent pub or restaurant or something, rather than to go to this big, massive chain that I just don't think there's no soul massively to a Wetherspoons, but a little country pub. Yeah, maybe. Like that's my issue with it. It's become a franchise. It's become formulaic, and it's become soulless. I don't think. An example of one I enjoyed recently was Joker. I really enjoyed the Joker.
But then that's getting this kind of adds on to the problem, is that's getting a second one.
I hate that because I watched the Joker and I thought that's brilliant because again it's done what those older superhero films has done. It's just adapted the story, or not even. It's not an adaptation.
Not really, no.
But it's just using the principles of what's in that comic book and just telling a very interesting standalone story. And at the time of watching it, I didn't feel like it was setting up something else, but obviously it has, because that's what always happens. I just enjoy cinema to tell a story, and if that story spans loads of time, then it should be a TV show. I don't know. Yeah, and I enjoyed those. Again, very similar to what happened in the Marvel kind of TV series. I really loved Daredevil, and I loved Jessica Jones, and I loved Luke Cage. I enjoyed Iron Fist as well. And then they merged them all together.
Oh, you didn't like the Defenders?
But the same thing started to happen. They merged them all together, and now I can't watch the new series of Daredevil because it's referencing things that... And I just would rather it be its own entity, its own things, and stand on its own merit than constantly be diluting its own creativity with what needs to appeal to the thousands of hours that have come before it.
Speaking of that, and this is going to upset you, I don't know whether you know this already, but they are making another series of Daredevil on Disney Plus as part of the MCU, because before the Marvel Netflix shows were kind of MCU adjacent. They would never come into the MCU, and they were kind of supposed to be in the same world, but you never saw those characters cross over with the MCU characters. But they kind of referenced events to some extent. But yeah, now Daredevil is getting his own show on Disney Plus called, I think, Daredevil Born Again, I think it's called. And he was recently in She-Hulk.
Right.
Yep, that's what it's actually called.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was nice to see him again. But I'm really worried they're going to ruin him.
To me, I'm just not interested in that. I just don't. I hope this doesn't cause offence to anyone, but I was interested in that when I was a kid. Like it's all for me. It seems like quite a childlike thing to just want to see these characters endlessly recycled and used and interact with each other in different ways. But to me, there's not much. I don't see there being much creative substance behind it. I struggle to get on with it, and I struggle to really think about a Marvel film after I've seen it. It's not playing a get over in my head. I see it. It happens. It's done. That's the soullessness of it. I can't quite pinpoint what it is, but I find them a little bit soulless.
Well, I think what you say there about you don't really think about it afterwards is to play devil's advocate. I think so many people would disagree with that. I think
100%.
But I think in such a way that that's almost what they're about, is to think about it afterwards. There's so many fan theories. There's so many interlinked characters and so many stories that go through all the different films. The whole point is that my experience after most of the films, you got so much to think about, and I love talking to my dad and to my other friends about it afterwards, and I won't shut up about talking about it and all the different theories and he's there because of that, he's going to be in the next film, and which is the great thing about it. But I do see what you mean in that I kind of get the soulless thing, and I get the point you were making earlier about you can't just watch one film, you can't just dip in, and we had this recently. We were watching we were going to watch Doctor Strange, and me, my dad and my sister were going to watch it, and my other sister said, yeah, but I don't know what's going on. Like, I haven't watched these other films.
Yeah.
And I would have to give her a whole list of things to watch for her to then understand. And sometimes it's not even enjoyable because you just have no idea what's going on.
And to me, that's not what cinema should be. Like, I want to go see a film, and I want to kind of going. I don't really watch trailers much because I like to have that kind of show me what you've got. Like, but I think if I were to go into a Marvel film, I could see no trailer about it, but I know what's gonna. I know what that film is gonna look and feel like, and what's gonna happen. I might know what exactly each narrative point, but I know what that film is going to feel like and what kind of viewer experience I'm gonna have, and I don't like that kind of, because to me it's been done. They're all quite similar to me. They kind of all blur into one.
I get that. I think one thing, again, kind of trying to fight the corner of them, specifically MCU at the moment, is I think there is a lot of kind of formulaic storytelling about it, and a lot of the times it's the same kind of morals and same story that they do tell. But I also think that the MCU, especially, has actually told quite a lot of important stories, and there's been some kind of good social issues which they've touched on. Been some quite political films, like the Captain America ones, I think are some of the best. Captain America Winter Soldier and Civil War go quite deeply into issues, and the new one, the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, also goes quite a lot into social kind of issues and political stuff. Black Panther, a massive kind of for race and for political issues and stuff, and I think it's a great tool, super films, and especially things like Black Panther, for kids identifying with people on screen, and people that maybe don't think they fit in, but then they see people on screen that look like them, especially things like Black Panther, or films like coming out of the MCU, Wonder Woman, they're going back,
100%,
Marvel, things like that. I think it's great. They've done quite a lot for representation,
of course, and it's a huge platform, and it's important that they do that. And I'm not arguing with that at all. I don't see any issues with that, and and to me, this is all a personal opinion thing, because I know that most people don't share this opinion because they keep making them.
But for
me, that's why I struggle I struggle to engage with them. I struggle to have an emotional response to them as films. And to me, as a cinema goer, that is really important to have some form of emotional response. And it just, for me personally, it does not evoke it in a superhero film. Well, not specifically superhero films, but just what they become, this huge conglomerate franchise of them. I struggle to engage.
There is a lot of them, and I know we mainly talk about the MCU here because it's kind of the big daddy of the moment, and it's kind of what's created this kind of movement into the superhero culture. But obviously, there's so much superhero content around, whether it be games, and you know it's big when it's filtered into everything. It's in TV, as I say, games. There's like even children's entertainment. Like my younger sister, not long ago, was still kind of watching children's TV, like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel and stuff like that. And they're also all about like superhero families and stuff like that. And obviously that's not a new thing. That's happened for a long time, the Incredibles and such like that. But everything is superhero now. Even things like adverts are based around superhero concepts, and everything is, and it makes it so saturated, and you get almost bored of it to an extent. And this is where I'm at with it at the moment. As I say, my opinion is that I've always loved these films, and I think they're brilliant, and they just make me feel they've always made me feel a certain way. And just makes me kind of forget about other stuff, and I've just enjoyed them so much. However, where I've got to recently, I touch on that point you said a bit earlier about you feel like maybe they're slightly more for children. And what I found is...
Well, I personally enjoyed them more when I was a child.
Yeah.
I just don't...
But this is it, is that I've got to a point now, like I'm 23, and I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, oh no, I feel like... Not that I'm aging out of these films, but I'm getting to the point where I'm enjoying them less, maybe because I'm getting older. I feel like, and that doesn't mean that you can't be older and not enjoy them. Like, I know loads of people like my dad and lots of other older friends and all sorts that I have that still love these films. But I just feel like that enjoyment for me is slightly lessened because I don't have that child awe around them. And I no longer forgive the shortcomings that they have anymore, especially having a film brain and being in kind of film and the creative arts. I can't forgive some of the mistakes and the issues that they have now. Yeah,
I don't think it's entirely that kind of growing up though, because we experienced that because they were kind of coming out and becoming big when we were children, and then we've kind of grown out of that. But for instance, my dad, I know that my dad personally would have gone and watched these with me, and he'd have loved them a lot more when they first started coming out. I don't think he'd feel the same about them now. I don't need to speak on his behalf, but I just know that he would not have the same amount of enjoyment, I think, as those earlier films. I do think there's been apologies. I do think there has been a degradation in quality over time, and I think it's just we've become so used to them, and they've become so oversaturated. It's just it's like seeing your local high street just become chain shops. For me, that's what it feels like, because it's all the independent little shops have been closed down, and all the big chain Starbucks and Costa and all that have overtaken it, and that's what I struggle with. It, I just feel like I'm not supporting the right thing.
Yeah, I get you there. And I think this is kind of the big kind of thing I had not too long ago. This big brainwave that I had, this epiphany, is as I say, I've enjoyed these for so long, and I started to enjoy them a bit less and start to see their shortcomings. And then I went to go and see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Right.
Now, this is like supposed to be the pinnacle of superhero films. It's bringing together, spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it and still wants to watch it, just skip forward a bit.
Skip to the end. Sorry.
Don't do that. It basically... all three Spider-Man. So it's Tom Holland's film, but also Tobey Maguire comes in through the multiverse, and also Andrew Garfield. And obviously there's rumours about this for ages and so much buzz, and they did, and I saw them on screen. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that's, how cool is that? I mean, Tobey Maguire phoned it in a bit, but Andrew Garfield was brilliant. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And then I finished it. I finished the film at the cinema. I saw this twice at the cinema, and I just had this really weird feeling that I should have enjoyed it more than I did.
Yeah.
It should have been, for every film that I love and how much I'm into superhero films, and especially Marvel, and how much I love all of the Spider-Man films, I should have absolutely loved that, but I didn't, and I was trying to work out why. and it was great seeing them again. But that was the best thing about it. It was not a good film. Like, I felt really bad afterwards. But when I was speaking, I think it was the second time I watched it, with my dad and my sister. I wasn't very complimentary about it, and I started making all these comments, and they were like, "Oh, I enjoyed it," until you've now told me why it's not good.
Yeah.
And I don't like to do that because it's people's opinion, and you think what you want to think about it. He says on a podcast, it's telling everyone his opinions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It wasn't a good film. Like, the editing was not good. It didn't have good dialogue. I thought the story could have been way better. The writing wasn't fantastic, and I just had this kind of sadness after watching it, thinking this is where we've come to. We see people from separate films who've played the same character, and we see it, we go, "Oh, that's brilliant," and we clap.
Yeah,
but that it's not a very good film.
That's like a short high for me. Like that.
Yeah,
that's not creative storytelling. That's giving you a short burst of oh wow, I remember them from my past. Great. Like, if you spend your whole life, if you spend a year remembering stuff, you've lost a year of new memories. That's what it seems to me. Like, you've created this film that's just evoking short emotional responses that you enjoyed from your childhood, but it's not doing anything to creatively tell a story. That's my issue with it. I don't think it's creative storytelling.
But this is a wider issue in Hollywood in general at the moment. You talk
yeah.
about Ghostbusters Afterlife and loads of films like that recently, where it's just playing on nostalgia. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's this great word that we spoke about in film studies with Tom Westwood, weaponized intertextuality.
Yeah.
About that whole thing of, oh, I remember that. I've seen that before. I like that. And as you say, it's those kind of short highs, and people like to know things, and people like to remember things, and especially if it's playing on when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like, that's an awful thing to do, because you enjoy it, and that's why afterwards I felt bad, because I was like, oh, I did enjoy that, but I shouldn't, because it's not a good film and it didn't deserve me my kind of enjoyment of it. And I think the reason I felt so sad about it afterwards is that that is what people will go and see. It just isn't it, and it made so much money. I've actually got some statistics on how much money has been made by Marvel films as of late. So the total worldwide box office revenue for just MCU films, ever since they've come out, MCU ones, not like Blade and the other Marvel films, just MCU, is $26.6 billion US dollars.
Yeah.
These films make money.
Yeah, of course.
They make good money. And why that makes me sad is because, like, that film made money, like Spider-Man made loads of money, and all of them have, and they're all in the they absolutely populate the top 10 of the highest grossing films. So Avengers Endgame is second most grossing film of all time, with about 2.8 billion, and then also Avengers of Infinity War is on there at number 5, and Spider-Man No Way Home on there number 7, and then the Avengers is number 10. So that many of all time in the top 10 of all films, that's mental. And why it makes me sad is because I see, obviously I'm a creative, and it's very likely I will never get to be in a massive film. I will never get to make a massive film. And it's just really sad that then the stuff that I make and people like me make will never get that kind of recognition and that kind of, that many eyes on it. And especially like small independent films and just generally smaller films. I went to go and see a film called Men, I think last year. And it was amazing. It's a very disturbing film, but it was so good, and I've been thinking about it ever since.
Yeah.
And this was about 6 months ago, and I don't think about Marvel films for that long. Certainly not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I try to explain. Like.
But this is it. But that film, I don't know how much that film made, but I can't imagine it had a very long or very wide cinema outage. Not many cinemas would have shown it, and it wouldn't been for a very long run. But I think that film was far more impactful and had a far better message than No Way Home did. But it will never make that money. It will never get the recognition. I think that's so sad that these films that obviously, as I say, make money, what was it, 4 or 5 were in the top 10 all-time grossing. and it's just sad that that's where we are, and that's what makes the money. And if a producer has an option to make, or a studio has an option to make one of those films, or a really interesting kind of independent film, it will be the superhero film every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
sad.
That is kind of what my overall issue with it is. And just for the sake of the podcast, my big thing is that I love is small independent films. I like British horror, British dark comedies, and I'm sure I'll talk about them more in the podcast to come. I feel like this might be a good time for like a little ad break.
Yeah, let's get another ad in.
Good to do another ad break. We'll get another. God, there's a really talented voice actor who does some of the adverts.
What are you talking about? These are real adverts.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I like the guy's voice.
Well, it'll be a different guy.
Will it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not all the same. I don't know
Interesting
what you think
products
this is,
as
Chris.
well, aren't they?
Yeah. You should get them. Absolutely. And we're going to an ad break.
Us men don't think about our mugs. We put them through hell each and every day, but do we clean them properly? Nah, we can't be bothered. We ain't got time for that, too busy. But women, they seem to find the time somewhere.
Lads, it's time for a revolution. We need to start looking after our ugly mugs or they're going to get uglier. But don't fret, because we ain't alone. Because we've got Bosch Face Cleanser and Moisturiser. You want to leave your backside dirty, so why leave your face? Bish bash bosh. Give your mug a wash.
Okay, we're back.
And we're back.
Without any technical difficulties.
At all. That definitely wasn't the third time we tried that.
Yeah, so we've had a break. We listened to a lovely advert. Who was that?
I don't know. Very good at adverts, though.
The voice actor just sounds, I don't know, familiar.
Can you stop insinuating things?
I'm not.
It's a real advert.
All right.
It's fine, because you won't see any of the profits.
Yeah, how much do they pay?
I'm not telling you. You'll see on your pay packet.
I don't know. I got one of those.
Oh.
I haven't signed anything.
What a shame.
Yeah, no, so we've been fed. I made Callum some pasta with some pesto.
It was just above average.
Yeah, my partner came and joined us. We had a dinner. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was. Nice to have someone else's company for once.
Yeah, so we're all full now. We might be belching a little bit more.
No,
Callum's got his IBS, so we might need to have a few more breaks.
I haven't been to the loo either.
Oh, God.
This is worrying.
Please go home before you do that.
It's fine. I have this thing that I don't really have those issues in other people's homes.
Right.
Like, my body's like, nah, we're not doing
Not
that.
here.
Not here. I should only do it on my toilet.
Possibly.
No, it's not really.
Cool. So, yeah, to summarise what we were chatting about superhero films earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't have an issue with superhero films. I have an issue with what they've become. That's my issue. I used to really enjoy them, and I feel they've become the Starbucks of the cinema universe. Oh, I'm turning everything into cinema world.
Yeah.
The world of cinema. Starbucks.
I think that, but the funny thing saying there about universe, everything is a universe now, though, isn't
Everything's got to be a universe.
Everything's got to have a sequel and then a prequel and then it's rebooted
and then pre-sequel.
Yeah, it's just like there's so much of it, and I think that's not necessarily just superhero films' faults. That's been happening for years, but I think it's only exacerbated the problem. Like, everything now is a shared universe, like, or you can't just have a standalone film like we were talking about earlier. I'm kind of sad that, I mean, it's great to see Joaquin Phoenix again as the Joker, but I wish it was just a standalone. Same thing with the Batman. I'd like to talk actually a little bit about the Batman before we go on, but I just think it's such a shame that you can't just have those standalone and everything.
Because with the Batman and Superman, it's not just remakes; it's remakes in such a short space of time. In terms of, like, usually a film gets remade from decades ago.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's just, I've got to rewatch this whole thing again with a new actor. It's like, why? What is the point?
So many Batmans.
What is the point?
So many, and I think there was some kind of, I can't remember what it was. There was some statistic I saw the other day about just how many times Bruce Wayne's family have been killed on camera. I think it's like, what, 3 or 4 times now, and they always do kind of, it's not always the same origin story, but they always go back to that. And I just think we've had so many people play Batman now. I mean, Michael Keaton, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is now.
Val Kilmer,
George Clooney, obviously Christian Bale,
Ben Affleck,
Batfleck, and now
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Twilight Man.
Twilight
Man.
Yeah, it's too much. The same thing with Spider-Man. Like 3 Spider-Man in very quick succession. It's just, and the sad thing about it is I was watching something about Fantastic Four the other day, and I actually, because they were made when kind of I was the right age for it, I actually liked the 2000s Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I remember
Four
liking them
films.
when I was a kid.
They were I just really liked them. They're really nostalgic to me. But I was watching something the other day, and it's really sad as to why those films keep getting made. So they made the first film. There was loads of different incarnations of it, and the final one was shit. And the only reason it was shit is because they had to rush it on such a low budget, because if they didn't film it in that time, the rights would be lost. Then the same thing happened with the 2000s one. If they didn't do that, would have lost the rights. Again, with the one with Miles Teller in it, again, they had to do it then, because if not, they'd lose the rights.
Did that happen with the Andrew Garfield ones? Was that what happened with Spider-Man?
I don't know.
There was some weird licensing thing.
It was something weird, because that was really quickly after Spider-Man 3. That was, I don't know.
They just abandoned Andrew Garfield's one. I just think the second one didn't do as well, and they were like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, again, that was Spider-Man.
It's probably Marvel buying it from Sony. I think that was what happened.
It hadn't quite happened yet, is the thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just annoying that happens so much. But yeah, so going back to the latest, the Batman. So have you seen it yet?
I haven't. I'm very sorry. I know that was my homework for the first day, but
he never misses his homework. You could have used your revision timetable. Didn't even use that. Terrible.
No, I don't have. I thought it was going to be on Amazon, or so. I just couldn't get the right thing for it, and it was just very expensive to pay for itself. And I just ran out of time. I'm a very busy man.
Well, I have lots of things to do. I'm very busy. I'm a narcissist.
I'm very sorry that I didn't watch the Batman.
Do you know what? I'll let you off. I will be deducting your pay though, and you won't be seeing any of the profits from these adverts. So I'm sorry about that. But it's just,
feel like you're paying yourself for these.
No, it's purely business, and just the fact that, you know what you said earlier, I didn't come to work that time because I was ill, so I didn't get paid. So because you didn't do the homework, you don't get paid.
Yeah, but I'm still here. Like,
anyway, The Batman. Really good film. No, so funny enough, you talk about you not having the time. It's a very long film. I'm going
to blag my way and pretend I've seen it, actually, from now on. I know everyone knows now that I haven't, but I'm going to see what I can do.
You've seen enough Batman films.
Is it really dark, both in terms of cinematography and... no, sorry, not is it? It is, because I've seen it.
Of course you have.
And the Riddler's there, isn't he?
It's very long. I think it's about 3 hours long. And the reason for that is because they're going for this old school kind of Maltese Falcon kind of noir vibe. Kind of lots of chiaroscuro lighting. And although I found out the other day, we've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's supposed to be chiaroscuro. We always said it wrong. Tom Westwood.
Yeah, he's not good with his pronunciations, is he?
I hope you're listening.
I really hope you're listening.
I'm going to send this to him. But anyway, yeah, it's like really kind of noir-y and kind of crime thriller. That's how it goes down. I think it does what is the best way to do superhero films at the moment. Obviously, we know superhero films work, and you've got to have an IP now for your film to sell. But this film's done it in the best way, and it's gone, yeah, okay, we're using the Batman IP. However, we're going to do an interesting film. It's just a bit too long for me. I think it takes too long sometimes to kind of say what it's trying to say. And I think I get what he was going for, and he's trying to go for these really long, uncut scenes. Like, you watch the scenes and you go, oh, this is brilliant. Normally, scenes like this in a Hollywood film would only last 2 minutes. And you go, oh, but now we're at like 5 minutes and I'm now bored of watching the scene.
Right.
There's not enough in the scene for me to want to keep watching it. It just seems like the editor should have cut it down by about a minute or so, like almost every scene. There's so many scenes which are so long in this film. But really great. I mean, cinematically, it's fantastic. I think it rivals Christopher Nolan, which is kind of a big thing to say. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think people should watch it.
Is it a good standalone film, or is it setting itself up for...
Well, this is it. I get, like the Joker, I wish it was on its own.
But to be honest, to watch it as itself, I get the sense it is doing that. The fact that they're making another one wasn't evident to me when I watched the Joker, which is why I enjoyed it. If I were to watch the Batman, I'm like, oh, they're saving that character for something else.
I don't think you watch it and go, oh, this is just a lead on to another film.
Yeah,
because it's not.
Because I know I've still appreciated the first film in like a trilogy, and they've made more films. But I've just if it can stand on its own merit is what I'm trying to say.
I think if it keeps to the Nolan thing of like just a trilogy, it'll be brilliant. I think it'll be a fantastic trilogy, and you can watch this without watching anything else because it's not connected to the DCEU or anything. This is what DC are doing at the moment in that they're calling, I think it's called like DC Dark Universe, or I can't remember exactly, but they're these DC films which are separate from each other.
Right.
Unfortunately, though, they are going all over the place, and there's going to be a Commissioner Gordon thing on HBO Max, and they're making, I think, the Joker. Unfortunately, they added on an extra scene at the end, and now Joker's be in it as well because we haven't had enough Jokers apparently. So there are things in it which are like, oh yeah, this is a superhero film.
But they had all of Gotham, didn't they? That TV series was
which I actually really enjoyed.
For me, it's like, where do I start? Like, where do I start? That is what. I just don't know how to.
No,
I don't have the interest to try and get into something like that. I can't comprehend it.
It's a lot, which I think, which is why a film like, it's annoying how it's ended up. But that film, if you just want to watch a good example of a superhero film, watch The Batman.
Okay,
it's a great film, very long, but really good. Great characters, great characterizations, just a really, really good film.
Cool.
So I think this is my kind of summary of it all. Is I think it started off really nice, humbly, kind of the superhero genre, and particularly the MCU. And I've always loved it. I've grown tired of it now.
Yeah.
And I've become too old and too into film to be able to forgive its shortcomings and forgive the lazy writing, lazy editing, and stuff like that. And if you're going to make a superhero film now, at least try and put some effort in, and don't just let it be a cash grab.
And for me, sometimes I enjoy going to a big chained restaurant or supermarket or pub on my high street. But most of the time, I want to go somewhere with a little bit of character and a little bit of, independence. And that's, for me, is the same in cinema. I just that's my thought on it, basically.
Absolutely. I think this is what I'd love to promote, in the fact that, as you say, every time you see one of these big blockbusters, whether it be a superhero film or not, make the choice to then go and see someone else's, to go and see an independent film. I think that is that's a really good and ethical thing to do as well, because we want to keep this industry going from the bottom and upwards. So I think that's a really thing to do. So if we're going to talk about independent films, obviously I touched on Men earlier. What kind of independent films have you been enjoying recently, and what would you, maybe something you'd recommend?
I'm watching. So this is my film that I would like to recommend to you to watch for next week. And I guess this is kind of becoming a little bit of our format. So we will recommend a film to each other. My all-time favorite film. I always struggle with that question. What's your favorite film? But I think more or less I would say this. It's called Sightseers. It is a dark comedy. It's written by Alice Lowe and Steve Oram. You might not know the names massively, but I think you'd recognise them. They're like two British comedy actors that cop up on all sorts. And it's produced by Edgar Wright, and it's directed by my favourite director, Ben Wheatley. And it's about a couple from Birmingham who go on a caravanning holiday, but he starts to kill people that annoy him, and it's her kind of realization that she's hanging out with a killer, but everything's done so like in that kind of cutesy kind of that kind of humor where everything's mundane. Everything's so mundane that it's interesting. It's just very good. It's my favorite film. I think it's so my humor. And that's my recommendation to you. I even have the Blu-ray with me here.
Oh,
I
amazing.
I love it. I don't know if you've got a Blu-ray player, but
I've got an Xbox. That'll be
but I'd like want it back because it's like my favourite film. Don't you break it.
I'm gonna lose it.
But I'm happy to give that to you so you can listen to it for the next episode, and we can chat about that.
As we're here, then, as I say, this will be a kind of long-running segment. As I said before, I think my recommendation has got to be Men. Which is an interesting thing to say. I recommend you Men. And the film.
Always coming on to me, man.
I can't help it. He's a very sexy man. You should see him right now. He's got a lovely moustache going on.
Yeah, that doesn't normally happen. It's just a bit of fluff normally.
He's very
I don't have a big
of my
kind
beard.
of shaggy beard like yours.
It's an absolute beauty at the moment. You know what I'm keeping in here. But yeah, so I would definitely. I think Men is it's a brilliant film. It's got Rory Kinnear in it.
I like Rory Kinnear. Yeah.
He's so good, and I won't spoil anything, but he plays a few parts in the film. And it's so bad I can't remember her name. I'm just gonna look it up.
I think I know her face. She was in what's it called? I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Oh yeah, I think that might be it.
This is really bad. This is the two
This is
blokes
top quality
forgetting
podcasting.
the lead actress's name.
Oh no. So her name is
Jessie Buckley.
Yes.
Yes, I saw her in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which again it's a mental film, but absolutely up my street. I'm going to recommend that to you another week.
Okay.
To see what you think.
Yeah.
She was fantastic in that, and it's by. Oh, I need to get better with names. It's by the guy that made Anomalisa and Being John Malkovich. Very good film. And Jessie Buckley is very talented.
Oh, fantastic. Well, yeah, so I'd recommend this film because, as I said earlier, it stayed with me. And it's not really the film I'd necessarily watch. It really reminded me of when we did film studies together, films that I would never watch normally because I do watch a lot of kind of popcorn films and superhero films and action films and stuff like that. So it's not something I'd normally watch, and certainly not at the cinema. But it was really got me to my inner soul. It was, yeah.
I like that. I like my horror.
Yeah,
I like my independent horror.
Yeah, it was. There are some really gruesome bits, and the imagery is like, oh. And I'm not kind of necessarily into that, but yeah, I think you definitely would be. I think.
Okay.
I
cool.
think love it is not the right word for it, but I think you'll really appreciate it and enjoy it. I think.
Okay. Cool.
So that's what I'd recommend. So anyway, now we've all been a little bit serious and all gone a bit deep into things. I think it's time for a bit of silliness, don't you think?
Yeah. So Callum and I we both do voice acting, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think we can do some different accents and impressions. So what we've done is we've put together an impression wheel, and it's a mix of both impressions and stuff that we think we can do.
Probably not.
They could just be general accents. They could be famous people. But we're gonna spin the wheel, and we're not gonna know what each other is doing. The funny thing is, I might get an impression that Callum's put on this list, and I won't have any idea who it is. And yeah, vice versa. And yeah, and then specifically this week
so for this week, so basically I have chosen superhero quotes that I'm gonna say with the different impressions to Chris, and he's picked some.
And I've googled some because I don't know any superhero quotes.
But this is the thing.
Due to obvious reasons.
I don't know how well he's gonna do. I tried to pick quotes that he might know and are quite widely known, but we'll find out. So we'll get 1 point for guessing the impression, 1 point for guessing. 1 for the impression, and I think 1 for guessing the film, and then I think an extra point for guessing who said it in the film.
I'm just Googling the first response here. Superhero quotes to inspire the best version of you.
The problem is, I'm not going to get any bonus points for you because you're not going to know who said it.
I'm going to literally read the first ones off Google.
Once again, your research is impeccable.
I'm a busy man. It's your show.
Oh, jeez, man. Okay, right. So, do you want to start with one then?
Yeah, I'm just checking. We're still rolling, don't we?
So just to clarify, so I can't see the impressions wheel at the moment. So he's got the screen.
Okay. Do I remove the impression from the wheel once I've picked it, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm spinning my wheel now.
Here we go.
This is scaring me. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna remove that.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
That sounds like a perfume advert. What?
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Right. I don't think that's a specific impression. That's just American, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's
so
general
1 point
American.
to me. General American, good.
If it is, I don't know.
Give me it one more time.
That same quote, okay.
Yeah.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Oh no! Oh jeez. I don't know. Spider-Man.
It's Batman.
Oh no! I was gonna say from which Batman?
It just says Batman, so I'm assuming. No, I'm assuming it's Tim Burton's.
Okay.
But it says Batman.
So
No, sorry. Actually, it's from I've made this more complicated for you, and it's because I don't know anything about superhero films. It's like it's what characters in superhero films have said. So it's like you're guessing which character it is, which might make it easier for you actually,
So
but
I
not
don't
for
even
me.
know what. So
It doesn't mean the film. No,
it'll
you've got to guess the character because I'm not googling anymore for this.
Okay. Okay, bonus points out the window. Then it's just going to be one. Okay, cool. Right, so I got 1 point. I've got
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Do I spin again or do I carry on?
I'll do one now, shall I?
Yeah.
Spin the wheel.
I don't look at it. I don't look at it. I didn't see.
Oh, God. Oh, gee. Right, don't you look at it.
Okay.
How do I get into this voice? I can do. No, I went northern.
This is so one I've put down, isn't it?
No, yeah.
This is one of my impressions, I think,
Yeah.
and you're having to do it.
And I'm fine. I could do this if it wasn't.
I think I know who
no,
you're doing, though.
No,
I just haven't heard the quote yet.
you just don't want to say it.
Well, I haven't heard the
I
quote.
can do this all. I can do this all day. I don't know how to do it.
No, it's fine. Just do how you think it is. I think I know what you're doing anyway.
He talks a bit.
Yeah, but I need the
Like
quote,
that.
Callum. The quote
I can
from
do
the film.
this all day. I got a coin up my ass. I can do this all day.
You're doing Christopher Walken.
Really badly. Why can't I do Christopher Walken, man?
And it's the quote. I can do this all day.
Yeah. that's
Oh,
the
is
quote.
that it? Is that Hulk?
It's not. No. I'll give you one more guess.
I can do this all day.
Which is
Oh, is it Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, Captain America.
Shows what I know. Shows what I know about superhero
I can do this
films.
all day.
Do I do another? Do we?
Your turn now.
Cool.
Well, this is a good segment.
Christopher Walken. You got Walken. That
Right,
was
so
one
you've
of
got
mine.
1 point then. 1 point each. It's 1-1, everyone.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
tense game.
I'm sorry for the quotes I've picked. I don't know. I don't know anything. Oh, fuck off.
You've got one that I've done now, haven't you?
No,
Oh, here we go. Go on.
okay. If there is nothing but what we make in this world, brothers, let us make it good.
Right, West Country.
That's West Country, yeah.
Good.
If there is nothing but what we make in... I don't even know what that is. I'm going to choose a different one, sorry.
Okay.
You get to hear the impression a bit more.
Oh, great.
Heroes are made by the path they choose, not the powers with... fucking hell. It's the West Country. Heroes are made by the path they choose, not the powers they are graced with.
I know superhero
Sounds
films
like
so
Hagrid.
well, but it
In my
does. You sound like Hagrid, but I don't know what this is from. This is I'm supposed to be good at this.
Just say the character then. Say the because I don't.
Heroes are what?
Heroes are made by the path they choose, not the powers they're graced with.
Oh man.
Who says it? In all, I'll give you a clue. It's a Marvel.
Oh, it's Marvel.
It's Marvel. So which one of them?
Oh,
Which one of them pricks?
Way off then. Oh, I don't know. Nick Fury.
It's Iron Man. Heroes are made by the path they choose, not the powers they're graced with. I feel like I'm not doing too bad with these impressions that are coming out.
No.
West Country was not. I've never done a
Doing
West
way
Country
better
accent,
than
and
me.
that just came out. I didn't remove it. Oh, I've just spun it. I'm not gonna look.
Right.
Sorry for the quotes. I'm gonna try and.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I've actually got a good quote this time.
Okay. So I've got short ones. So you've got quite long ones. All my quotes are short. So I tried
Yeah.
to make it quite easy.
Which you just said a quote which was so short and then just like rambled on as Christopher Walken. I was like, I don't know what the
What's
quote
going
is.
on? Okay.
Is it mine again? Is it my impression again?
Yeah, it is. This is going to keep happening, isn't it? That is diabolical. That is diabolical.
Okay, so that is diabolical. Is the
Yeah,
quote.
that's the quote.
And also the impression, because I think I know what it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're doing because I put some of these down. Are you doing Matthew Berry?
Yes, I am.
Okay. That is diabolical.
Okay,
That's
I'm going to
so
give you.
short. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a quote. I'm going to give you a clue. It's not. Maybe this is a bit harsh. See, I thought you might have seen this like on the internet somewhere. It's not from DC. It's not from Marvel. So it's not from like one of the big superhero films. But it's from a really big superhero TV show at the moment.
Is it from? Oh, is it from The Boys?
It is. I helped you quite a lot there, but
Yeah.
it is.
I wouldn't have got that if you hadn't said all that information that helped me.
But you know, I gotta help you. So you're on 3 points then.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's keeping track?
I am.
Yeah. I'm sorry that you keep getting my impressions.
And they're not very good.
Right. I've actually got a good quote this time that's a bit more specific for you, which I think you'll do better with the specific ones. And I
It's one of mine as well. Oh no, you got one of yours. Oh no.
Right, man. So intelligence is like a privilege, and it needs to be used for like the greater good of people. Intelligence is a privilege, and it needs to be used for the greater good of people.
Is it Staff?
It's Staff from Staff Let's Fats. He's a bloody superhero.
Oh, what I said, which was Staff Let's Fats.
What are you saying about my programme? Staff Let's Fats.
Sophie.
Sorry
right.
for everyone's ears.
Yeah, sorry. Turn it down. Right, once more, Staff.
Right. Oh, I'm just getting it up because it's gone from my phone, isn't it?
Bloody thing.
Bloody silly phone. Intelligence is privilege. Sorry, I'm going to say it staff-like and get it a little bit wrong because it's always very funny. Intelligence is a privilege and it needs to be used for the greater good of people.
And I should know this.
It's a bit more specificities.
And you've already said Iron Man, so it's not Iron Man. Oh, jeez. Intelligence is something.
Can I say it not like staff?
Yeah, just say it.
Intelligence is a privilege and it needs to be used for the greater good of people.
Oh, people are gonna know this, and I just don't. This is so embarrassing. I don't know. Superman.
It's Dr. Octopus.
Oh.
From Spider-Man 2.
Oh no, I love.
Which
that
I thought was
film.
which rang a bell for me.
What
I don't
about
know
it
why.
did for
I
you?
thought it might for you because you're a bit
No.
more into superhero films.
Oh man, so I'm on 2 points. You're on 3. How are you? This is my area, man. Oh, bro.
Cool.
Let's spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Is
Let's
that?
see if
We've
my
got 2 more each,
impression
is it?
Yeah. Let's see if my impression is any better this time.
I'm gonna just
I
remove
doubt it.
my
This
laptop
better
here.
be one of mine. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ooh, either of those would have been mine. That's good.
Alrighty. I won't know the quote, but I might get the impression.
I should hope so. Hey, where is she? Know what I mean? Like, where is she?
Oh right, I know both of these.
Yeah, so I was like,
So you're Scouse.
yes, all the other day.
Are you Scouse Batman from The Dark Knight?
Yeah, so other day I was with Alfred, and I was just, carjacking cars, and I just stole one of the old like wheels because my Batmobile, like, it's not running too great at the moment. So yeah, what'd you say? Sorry, yeah, Batman, yeah.
That is brilliant. There you go.
Just where is she, man? She's not answering my calls.
Scouse Batman.
Get on me.
Oh, I didn't remove Scouse and I've spun it again. Sorry. I got that one.
That's
So that's 2 points
that
for me.
needs to be made.
2 more points.
Scouse Batman.
Fuck. Oh,
What's your profanity?
God. Sorry for swearing.
What am I then?
I haven't got a quote yet. I cannot do this accent. It's not mine.
Oh, it's an accent then. There we go.
Sorry, it's one account. With great power comes great responsibility. I can't do it.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
Oh, right, there you go. With great power.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, well, you've ruined
So it
that.
just
That was
goes
one of my quotes. Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Said by Uncle Ben. So that means, so you're on 5 points, I'm on 4 points then.
Cool. We should get a little tally.
Yeah.
Ting, ting, ting sound going.
That's when we're going to spend all
I
the
haven't
budget.
removed all of mine. I'm sorry. I keep clicking the wrong thing. So
Right, sound. See what we got.
it's turning.
Ooh. Hello. I am inevitable.
Are you Jim doing Thanos?
I am.
Jim from Friday Night Dinner.
As the Mad Titans.
As doing Thanos.
I am inevitable Jackie. Oh, you look nice. Hello, boys. Shalom. Oh man, I love Jim so
Right,
much.
one more each, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be? All right.
Oh, all right then.
So I
Matthew
think a
McConaughey?
hero is an individual, ordinary. Sorry. There.
Not Matthew McConaughey.
I think can't do this. Well, I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. I think a
Right.
hero is an ordinary individual.
Right, so South.
Southern American.
Southern American, yeah,
Not
yeah,
that
yeah.
I put this one down.
So that's 1 point for me. So that's 5.
Okay. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles.
Marvel, DC.
You can just name the character. He's from DC. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles.
Alfred?
No,
Bugger.
it's Superman.
I've been terrible.
All
at
right.
this. So I finished then on 5 points. That was your last one, wasn't it?
I thought, did you start? I thought I started.
Yeah, you started.
So you got one more.
Yeah. So I've got one more to say, but I finished on 5 points.
Oh, right, I see.
You're currently on 7, so you've already won, man. Here
Already
we go,
won.
Just to take it away.
Am I a better impressionist or a better Marvel fan? That's the thing.
These haven't all been Marvel.
Yeah,
can I
I'm
just say?
sorry. I am sorry for your quotes.
Yeah,
I am sorry.
you should be.
I didn't
This is
research
making
them,
it
and
very
I've just
bad.
pulled these randomly.
Oh man. Right. Okay. So for your final one, we've already said it. I'm gonna have to quickly come up with another one.
Spider-Man.
'Cause- Yeah, it was Spider-Man. Bruh.
What's
And I've just seen the impression as well. Right. Okay, I've got it. So what I like to say is, what doesn't kill you only makes you stranger.
Okay, so you're doing South African,
Yes.
and
What doesn't kill you only makes you stranger.
doesn't kill you, makes you. As soon as you do an accent like that, I just think of think of a film like District 9, which is all set in South Africa.
Prawns.
Prawns.
What doesn't kill you
Oh, it's got to be Doctor
only
Strange.
makes
isn't
you
it?
stronger.
Doctor Strange.
No.
Oh, that's my uneducated Marvel fan guess.
Did I say the quote right? Yeah. What
What only kills you makes you stranger or stronger?
stranger?
Because you're quite dyslexic. Have you read it wrong?
No, it's stranger.
Okay.
Stranger. What? No. What I haven't. The problem is I haven't read it. Is I've plucked it out of my mind.
Oh right, that's all right then.
What doesn't kill
Yeah.
you only makes you stranger.
My guess would be Doctor Strange. But...
It's the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh, I do. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
kill you, only makes you stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well
Lovely.
there we go.
So that means you
Thanks
finished
for
on 8 and I finished on 5.
You're just such a loser, aren't you?
Oh man.
Thank you for indulging us in our impressions. If you like that, then tell us and we'll do more. If you fucking hated it and you wanted to crawl into a hole,
Like we did.
then tell us as well somehow.
Oh, man.
Or whenever we set up some socials for this.
Yes, we
Cool.
should do that. So yes, anyway, that brings us to kind of pretty much the natural end.
Yeah, I know we said like this was just like a working idea. Am I doing an outro, like making up an outro on the spot to the theme
so
tune?
I'm going to keep talking, and in which time you're going to, by the end of it, you're going to have an outro
I've
ready.
got to think of an outro
Yeah, a superhero themed
But-
outro.
that goes with what. Yeah, so it goes with what we've been talking about and matches our opening tune.
Or it can be a different tune if you want.
I'm going to stick to
Stick to the
what
tune.
we've got.
Yeah.
You know, get it in their heads.
Because you're not that talented to come
No,
up with
not
one
yet,
on the
not
spot.
yet.
Okay. Anyway, while he's doing that, so thank you very much if anyone has been listening. If it's just Daisy, then thank you very much. This is our pilot. We've really enjoyed doing it. We've been really looking forward to it. We've worked together on our touring play, which is Last Shot and Confess, which was touring in October, touring again this March.
Go to raisingcaneproductions.com for info.
Yes, please go there, and lots of other stuff as well, which Raising Cane are doing at the moment. Doing the book at the end of the shelf. The final episode, as we're recording it now, comes out tonight, which is very exciting.
Yeah, so it will already be out for you to listen to.
Will already be out by then. We've been wanting to do kind of more stuff together, so this has been really fun to do. I kind of hope that we could do more and that you guys will enjoy more. And as we go forward, we've got lots of plans that we'd like to kind of put it on camera. Maybe in the future would be nice. Might be able to clip bits and put it on YouTube, and it'd be really nice to have some kind of participation as well. If you want to throw in questions or anything that we can kind of debate about. So finishing off here, I'd like to finish with Callum's confessions.
Oh, of course. Sorry.
Callum's confessions first. So this is what we'll do at the end of every show, and it's basically.
You killed a man. Oh, sorry.
No, wrong. That's not
that one.
That's the
Not what
support
you
group.
told me,
We'll talk about that
Oh,
later.
right, yeah. Sorry.
Are you listening? The police? No, good. We're all good. Anyway,
It's just Daisy.
yeah, there's no one else listening. So this is The funny thing that we've found is, even through recording this, is that I'm doing a film podcast and there's so many films I haven't watched.
You haven't seen any classic films.
No, I have. There's just been a lot that I've missed. That I get this thing where if someone tells me to watch a film, I'm so much less likely to watch it.
Because I think doing this, I think I will have seen more classic, like all those films that they say you should see. Or I feel like you're a bit more up to date with what's going on.
Potentially, I think. And this is, through this, what I want to do in Callum's Confessions is I want to basically get better at watching films. And every week we're going to kind of find a Callum's Confession, find a film that I haven't watched that I should have done, and then I'm going to watch it and maybe hopefully for the next podcast, and then I can talk about kind of what I thought about it. So for this week, what do we think? So this is, if it's to do with what we've been talking about, if we just pick one, obviously we spoke earlier about maybe the original Batman with Michael Keaton, or what was it, All Blade? Which one would you say should be my Callum's Confession?
I'd say Batman's more of a confession, because that's a bit, I think more people have seen that. I haven't seen that either.
Okay.
I'd say that's your confession. You should go watch it.
Okay, then so this is my Callum's Confession. I have not seen Tim Burton and Michael Keaton's Batman with Jack Nicholson, which is such a sin. So that's what I should watch, and we should talk about it next time.
Yeah, cool. So am I playing us out with a song I've got to make up just now?
And playing us out with this song, which is going to be in the charts soon. It's Christopher St. Clark.
I've got to get the right key again. Superhero films are rubbish. Callum may think I'm wrong, but he is not the one who gets to sing the song.
Woo!